on? How long is the song?
I don't know, 3 minutes maybe?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Everything's rolling.
All right. So this is a song I wrote, one of the first songs I wrote. It's called How Did You Know? Sang this as my sister walked up the aisle. I sang her up the aisle. It goes like this. How do you know me so well? How do you know what my heart's been dreaming? How do you know when the tears are about to fall? How do you know me so well? How do you know just the right words to say? How do you know just the way to make me love you more? How did you know? How did you know? The moment we met, we'd spend the rest of life together. How did you know? How did you know? I was the one for you, the only one for you. Did you hear my prayer? Did you know you were just what I asked for? Did you know you are all the world to me? How did you know? How did you know? The moment we met, we'd spend the rest of life together. How did you know? Tell me, how did you know? I was the one for you, the only one for you. I was the one for you, the only one for you.
Right.
There you go.
Melissa Marie Schreiner. So if I don't come to your next gig, it's because, like, why would I come and stay up late to watch you perform in front of 100 people when you can come play with me anytime right here?
Lucky you.
Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Now, I appreciate you taking the time to come in. Happy Good Friday, Happy Easter, whatever it is.
Same to you.
First time we haven't gone live, but I'm okay with that because, well, I've been finding about 1,000 views usually when I do politicians, less when I do musicians for whatever reason, probably because the politicians are a little bit more lightning rods. But about 1,000 views on Facebook when we go live for, the Andy Petrowskis and the Tony Quirks of the region and stuff like that. But then when I put the YouTube videos up, everyone that's wanted to see it pretty much has seen it. So we don't get many views. So I'm wholly and completely interested to find out how not going live works, and then uploading it just to YouTube and saying this is it and sharing it appropriately. So I appreciate your time coming in.
Thank you.
Beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
It sounds like I could have written that song a couple times. As far as the lyrics go, you know what I mean? Like, well, I think, you know, we all have this emptiness, you know, that we think can be filled up with someone from the opposite sex or a partner, regardless. Don't, come on. Man or woman, gay or straight, we're searching. We're not complete. We're designed to be with someone. And then, you know, my passion for the arts, especially Niagara music, starting with getting many of these guys to play my show, the bumper music in and out of the commercials, which is wholly and completely unique, I believe. And then, you know, it's just all the music we listen to, and that's not because I know a bunch of talented songwriters that this is true. It's either falling in love or I hate your fucking guts, get away from me. You know, like falling out of love. And it seems like every song is, I'm in love, I'm out of love.
It's an interesting. Okay, so this song I wrote, well, at least 20 years ago. Because my sister, I wrote it not for my sister's wedding. I wrote it for somebody I was dating when she was just about to get married, and I was sure I was going to end up with that guy, and I wrote this song, "You're the one for me," as it happens.
He wasn't.
No, he wasn't, absolutely not. But that's okay. It was.
Well, you don't write songs like that unless you think.
That's absolutely, and you know what? That's the way I felt at the time, so I wrote the song, you know. And
you're not going to stop singing it because it was inspired by somebody you're not with anymore.
That was a beautiful time of my life, and I had a wonderful experience with that person. And but anyhow, she just celebrated her 20th wedding anniversary, which is a beautiful thing in this day and age, and I'm really happy for her. And so when I first started writing music, ding, somebody wants to talk to you. When I first started writing music, I wrote mostly love songs, and I grew up in the church, right? So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, there you go. There was some good and some bad that came from that. One of the great things that came from it, though, is that's really where I learned my skills as a musician. And so some of the first songs that I wrote were songs about love and songs about God. And then I know the date that I had this conversation because I have it written in my book here.
Or you're one of those people that keeps a notebook? Keeps track of everything?
If I don't write it down, it's like it never happened. So
well, good way to edit history.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just not going to write that one down, and then I'll forget about it.
That's right.
Regrets, I have none. I just don't write them down.
So August 11th, 2008, so I guess that's nearly 10 years ago, a friend of mine was over. We were just hanging out, and she said to me, I was sitting at the piano, and I said, "Oh, let me play you some songs." And so I played her all my churchy God songs or whatever, and my love songs. And she said to me, "How come you never write about anything that's
like painting fences or cleaning the tub?"
No, but she's like, "Why don't you?" She said, "Why don't you write about anything that's other than love? Like, why aren't you writing about things that like pain and things like that?" And I said, "I don't know. It never really struck me to do that before."
Well, you're just not inspired to do so.
I at that time I hadn't been, and so we'd been talking about certain situation going on in her life with a parent. The relationship was really strained, and this person wanted to have more depth with this particular parent, and it wasn't being reciprocated, unfortunately, in that case. And so we were spending the whole just hanging out, whatever. She went to use the washroom or whatever, and then I just sat at the piano having this thought in my mind of what we had just talked about. And then I wrote this song. I wrote the chorus of this song from the time that she went to do her thing and then came back. And then I finished it later that
So you didn't physically write it down, you sang it.
No, I started to play the piano, and it just sort of
came to you.
To my mind, came to my heart.
So then do you have to write it down right away, or you forget it, or it's no?
Sort of,
once
for
it's
me, I do, yeah. I
Okay.
do have to write it down right away. And then sometimes I'll write down the melody or whatever, so I remember the tune.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to sing it for you.
Hit it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So this is called Gotta Move On From Here. So it's a song about how...
I have a feeling I know what this. I wrote that song last week.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so basically... And this is a funny thing. I've just got to be, like, totally honest with you. It's I do
As
feel-
opposed to most people who you lie to consistently.
No, I don't. I've got my book here because I've never bothered to memorize my own songs. It's the dumbest thing in the whole wide world. I know it.
You're not
but-
the only one. Corey Cruz, when he
Really?
did my show on 610, yeah, there's a clip of me actually rebuking him through the intercom.
Oh,
He
really?
brought his iPad. I go, what's that for? He goes, lyrics. I'm like, dude, whose songs you playing? Mine. I said, and you need your freaking lyrics? Like, I'm just meeting this guy, but I'm giving him
Yeah.
a wicked hard time. And so, yeah, I come through the speaker. I'm like, how's Cruz doing over there?
That's funny.
Yeah,
He's
good thing you brought the
really-
lyrics, scrub. I
He's
make him.
doing really good.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
proud of
Mr.
him.
Everywhere.
He's
Like
really
every
amazing.
show you go to. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, you're not alone in that department. Now, do you know any of your
I
songs?
do.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm gonna sing you
Because
one.
that would be bad.
I'm gonna sing you one.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So this is called "Gotta Move On From Here," and it's a song about how, you know, how you have those certain relationships in your life that it's just time.
No, never.
Yeah. Well,
That's been my downfall. Is I never know when it's time.
Oh,
I stay
really?
about 5 years later. No.
well,
Well, how can you know when it's time? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, one of these days we're gonna figure it out. So.
Excuse me.
Anyhow, I wrote this as an inspiration from that conversation I'd had with my friend about how come you never write about anything other than love? Okay. This goes like this. How many times do I need to say to you what you do to me?
That's some sustain there. Awesome. So is it the first, was that the breakup tune?
No. Good question.
Dealing with the breakup tune? Or
No.
inspired in pain?
It was, yeah. It was like, that song was inspired by like, sometimes, well, in this case, this was a parent-child relationship that this person wanted one thing that the parent wasn't willing to offer, unfortunately. And it's like, well, how many times are you going to try? And like, it's not happening. It's not working. And I felt sadness to see somebody. It's like, if you want something from me and I'm not giving it to you, how many times are you going to keep trying to get something from me that I'm not giving to you? It's a sad situation when it's a parent who's not being a parent to their child, you know? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, I think for me, this is like, you know, I can only speak for myself. There are like, let's say, habits or situations for myself, like how many days have I watched myself fall apart, things that I feel like I do that aren't necessarily helpful to myself, and wanting to change my life, right? So yet here I stay, but it's time to move on. It's time to make a change. So that's for me what that song's about. Singing, I often write to myself about the things I'd like to change in my life.
Yeah, and that's the human condition, I think. And, you know, that keys on something that's, you know, been the endless loop in my life lately, because I'm so profoundly present to the things I am doing that are not driving me to my destination. They're not helping me accomplish anything that I want as far as goals go. They're not helping me with progress. They're keeping me stuck. They're keeping me unhealthy and financially constricting me in some cases. And still there we are, and there I am, you know, with my addictions and just simple habits, you know, even if it's not addictive, the habit of going back to that person or that drug or that drink or that whatever it is. I mean, some people are addicted to working out or habitually reach for cookies. You know, they're not addicted to well, there's a question about sugar addiction too, but it's just, you know, with me, oh man, I'm so present to my oral fixation, and that manifests in so many ways, you know, from nuts to whatever it is. Just the hand to mouth mechanism,
well,
you know?
This song is called I Did It Again. Okay, this was actually written in 19, listen to me, back in 1900 and whatever, 2005, October 8th, in fact, 2005. So I had been out hanging out with a friend in Hamilton, probably on Hess Street or something like that. We went out for whatever, drink or whatever. And there was this guy who made a really rude comment to me about my size. And it really hurt me quite profoundly, because that's always been my thing, right?
Oh.
So, I mean, he just got
See,
me
we're always
right
hurt
where
by whatever we're self-conscious about, whatever we haven't dealt
exactly,
with,
right? So,
whatever we're not at peace with.
right.
Because
So whether or not he meant it to be a hurtful comment, I think he said.
So he wasn't outright trying to hurt you.
I don't know if he was or not. I couldn't.
Well,
judge
you can
the-
tell by the language and what
Yeah, and I mean, it's sort of one of those like, whoo, whirlwind moments, like, what the heck is happening right now? And all I know is I was deeply hurt. And I was like, dude, why would you say something so mean to me? Like, he just made some comment about whatever. You'd be prettier if blah, 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 blah. Something like that, right? And it really, really hurt me. And so I went home and I wrote this song about it. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, no, hit it for sure.
So it's called I Did It Again. And it's not the Britney Spears song. All right, it goes like this.
Cool.
Thanks. So there you go. So this was another one of these kind of, you know what? I was thinking to myself while I was singing that.
Just pull the mic up just so we're.
Okay. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Good.
You know,
So I was thinking to myself while I wrote that, actually, I wrote that one in 2005 before I'd had this conversation with my friend.
okay.
So maybe I was actually already doing this sort of
2008, you said the other one was,
I
yeah.
wrote the other one. So there you go. That was that. And so how about a little tiny change of pace here? I don't only write songs like that. Like, wah! Okay,
Well, dig into a little bit more of the song.
That song?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you or
isn't
no?
this like the eternal struggle? I don't know. Maybe I'm all on my own on that one.
Are you kidding?
No.
Dude.
Sometimes I feel like that, though. Yeah, for real.
What? That you're hurt by words?
Well, not that, but like that I'm the only one that like turns to whatever to cope with the way I feel about things that happen to me.
What do you mean turn to write music?
No. Well, that song, I Did It Again. It's like I turn back to my vice. That's what the song's about. I did it again. I turn back to my vice.
In anger and hurt?
In sadness, I would think.
Oh, okay.
In my case, usually.
Well, isn't that what we do though? It does. We just have different vices.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, like I guess that's. I always felt alone in that type of thing. I really did.
Then you see it in everyone?
I guess, yeah. But I guess I judge myself more prominently for it, you know?
I think that's consistent throughout humanity. I mean, well, maybe not. Maybe it's only the enlightened. I mean, I wish for ignorance and bliss all the time. Well, because I think I used to have it. Now, I don't know how old I was, but now I am keenly aware.
Yeah.
And now I can't let it go. And especially when it comes to, well, for instance, it's my podcast. Like I've been trying to bring myself to do the Ben Shapiro style monologue where I just get it off my heart every day.
Right.
Just roll. Just, Jim Fannon, just here's my thoughts on this, and this, goodbye. But I'm so critical when I look at things like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I go, you suck, first of all. And
You
no,
say that to yourself.
yeah. And you should have done it this way.
Right. Yeah.
You could have said this. No one cares to hear what you think anyways. Shut up and let your guest talk. Like it's all, it's chatter that usually comes from others that I hang on to. And why, I wish I could say, those people that say, well, I don't care what people think. Well,
I would really like to know if that's
yeah,
the
you
truth.
do. No, it's always a lie.
Yeah.
But I wish I had a little bit more of fuck you-ness in me because, maybe not fuck you-ness, but I don't give a fuck-ness. I actually read half through the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck,
Oh, right.
which is, I think, is a bestseller right now.
I can imagine it would be.
And a friend of mine, I went to walk with a friend of mine the other day and her dog, and she, we're kind of comparing books, and I'm like, well, I'm reading this. She says, well, I'm reading this. Oh, I've heard a lot about that. She says, it's awesome.
Which
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, because I'm reading 12 Rules for Life right now, and it's not the easiest read, and he's a psychologist. It's pretty deep. But it's Jordan Peterson, and I love his work. I think he's brilliant, and much as he is a lightning rod, and people have grown to hate him because he's pretty provocative when it comes to things, and he can't just say stuff anymore because somebody's going to be offended by it. But anyway, so strangely enough, the book came to me.
In what way?
Well, it just came through the door quite literally in a box, and like it wasn't for me, but I got the use of it, so I got to read half of it before I didn't have access to it anymore. But it's like when somebody says to me, hey, you should read this one. I'm reading it, and it's really good. You like it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not going to make that a priority right now. I'm not going to run right off to the bookstore and spend my money on that. Like I've got other priorities right now. So, oh, there it is. Oh, perfect. So read it, and yeah, I think, that's a struggle this is probably the proclivity of the left-leaning mind, like the artists and the teachers and the songwriters and the musicians and the directors and the producers, and they're all left-leaning sorts, and they have a certain personality type, and I think that is
to go with the package, doesn't it?
they care, like
Very
they're
much so.
keenly
Yes.
aware of what people think of them, and they want to. I mean, we all want to be accepted at some level,
Absolutely.
but
I think that's kind of the bottom line for people. Don't you want? I would love for you to think. I would love for you to accept me and love what I do or like what I do. And I think it was like listening to Oprah Winfrey give a speech, and she said something about how it doesn't matter who that woman has interviewed. It could be anybody from a housewife or that's one of the most beautiful jobs in the world, to Beyonce, to the Pope or whoever. Every single person ends their interview with her by saying, was that okay? Did I do okay?
wow.
Like, that's how I'm like, I would think, like, am I doing okay? You would think, am I doing okay? Well, yeah, I hope so. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully people enjoy, what we have to offer, right? Because especially as artists, you give it from your heart, and you just offer the best that you've got, and hope that it speaks to somebody in some small way, right?
Well, here's the thing that always floats me. Not always, but I try to remind myself of, and it seems like I'm better at reminding others of it. I'm a great coach, not for myself though. and I'm a worse boss for myself, and I'm an even worse slave for myself.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I try to be, if I try to boss myself into a new habit,
Oh, I see. Okay.
if I try to make myself a slave and a boss at the same time, I'm bossing myself in,
Okay. All right.
the slave rebels and the boss does the same thing in his own way. So it's so I find myself reminding people that we're hardly ever present to our impact. Once in a while, someone will come up to us and say, "You remember Jordan House? It's Friday night. I was suicidal.
Right.
I saw you. You said this one thing to me, and it changed my life, or it kept me from doing harm to myself." I'm just being hypothetical, but
Yeah,
we've
I
all had the situation, especially you as an artist. Somebody comes up, they'll be emotional, and sometimes it's 25 years later. Sometimes it was in kindergarten. Sometimes you don't even remember it.
Yes.
People don't make things up like that.
No.
And I was on the rooftop of the Pack last summer with Jihad and a couple friends. I don't know if it was MJ or who it was. Yeah, it was MJ and Jihad and Don, I think. I forgot to change my shirt. I'm representing hard with Roadways today. I was up with the Roadways, couple of guys from Roadways. Actually, it was the three guys from Roadways and MJ, I think. Yo and Don and G and MJ. And I'm standing beside MJ on the roof of the Pack. There's a band on. I'm facing the band, and there's these two guys with their back to the band in front of me, kind of looking at me.
Okay.
And the one kid, I'll say for lack of he's probably 35 or something like that. He's looking right at me, but he's talking to his friend, and he says, "I think I know this guy." And I can hear him. And he's looking, he's looking at me. He's talking to his friend, probably because I don't know him.
Yeah.
And so I shake my head and go, "Nope. I'm just being a smart ass, right? I had a few beers already, and we're on the roof, we're having it's a party. So I'm not all serious." So he's like, "I think I know this guy." I'm like, "No, probably not." He goes, "Jim?" Oh, here we go.
You actually do know me.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes, "Fannon, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, you touched my heart or something."
Really?
You like
Whoa.
boys don't say that to boys normally, especially strangers. And he said something really, like it was really close to that.
Wow.
Like, "You touched my heart." And he kind of said how or whatever. I'm like,
Right.
"Secord? Laura Secord?" He goes, "Yeah."
Really?
I go, "The kids at Secord love me." He goes, "We voted you in for the student vote."
Like, are you talking in high school?
I debated as a Green Party candidate at the school several times.
Okay,
Secord was
see.
very good to me, and they elected me as their MP
I see.
in their student elections. The only
Interesting.
vote I've ever won, ever.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Secord. So he went on to say, everything that he found and all, the impact that I had caused in his life. And I wish I could remember who it was and, have
are
him
you able
in.
to share, like, what about what you, like, how did you impact his life?
I wish I could remember.
Okay, that's all
I just remember that he was a good-looking, well-spoken kid that had obviously a brain in his head and was touched by something I said and was moved
amazing.
by my humor and my presentation. And, it's not funny what we talk about in politics, but I'm hilarious. So
Yeah, try to bring some levity.
well, I just know my stuff. So when you know your stuff, your personality comes out. And because I am funny, it just comes out. And, it's not the last election I've run in, but, one of the things I struggle with when I get off the stage, because usually I out-debate these guys, like they just can't stay with me as far as a policy discussion goes, because they're not trained for it. I've done this 10 times. And when I get off the stage and someone says, "Oh, you're hilarious," I'm like, "You know what? It's not funny." "Oh, no, well, yeah, I'm up there to win." "Oh, yeah, well, you also won the debate." Well, that's, I want to hear, like, "Way to go. You really know your stuff," but it usually comes out as,
you're so funny.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
it's also interesting what we pick up on. So that's a long way of saying, we're not always present to the impact, but once in a while, someone will kind of let us in, and that's just this kid went to school like, well, it's 10 years ago. I think that it was 10 years ago. It was
Yeah.
the election of
And
08.
how would you have ever known if he didn't tell
No,
you?
never. And so that filled me up, and to hear someone say you touch my I felt like saying, well, come on, you're being a little dramatic. I touched your heart, like really, like he was that descriptive, for lack of a better term. I don't know how to put it, but
That's a pretty deep way to say something. Like
yeah. And so I try to remind, especially my performer friends, because one, it's a tough way to make a living in this business. Two, you always question whether you really suck or not. I struggle with that in business. Last year was tough for real estate sales. I started a new business, and I actually went to I was going to bed the other night, and I'm like, nobody wants this product you're selling.
Oh.
Like, I convinced myself, like, you just spent a year and a half and 5 years of an idea. Now you fleshed it out. Now it's actually become a reality, and you want to convince yourself that no one wants it. Why? It's just so you can be lazy and sit at home and do nothing.
That's interesting, isn't it?
So not only were we not present to the impact, and very seldom do we get acknowledged on the impact, but often we're like, well, you suck, So on top of not knowing if you're making a difference, not that I'm saying we have to make a difference every time we go out, but it's nice to know that you're getting through. I mean, you write music to touch people's heart, I'm thinking.
Yes,
You also write music because it's therapeutic for yourself.
yes.
Like it's a form of self-expression. So
Yes, very
if no one ever hears it, or it doesn't make a difference for anyone's life, it's still, you've gotten that out of it.
Absolutely.
Now, but we want to be accepted, we want to be loved, and we want to be told that we're good at what we do, especially if it's something we're passionate about. And hell, we'd like to make a little bit of money at it too, so we don't have to go punch the clock. Like, do you have a normal job, like a regular job, like a 9 to 5?
I'm really fortunate, actually. I don't really consider what I do a job. I teach singing, and I teach music, and I teach piano, and it is such an absolute joy to me. I've never said, oh, I've got to work today, or I've got to go to my job today. Like, I don't consider it a job. I don't consider it work. It's my passion. Really, I'm very lucky for that. So I do teach music, and those kids are amazing. I love them so much. They are so cool. They walk in the door, and then it's like the whole room explodes because they're so full of life and joy, and they just want to go sing their music and have a good time. And they've got so much love in their hearts, and we always have a good time. We laugh. I love being with them. I love teaching music. It's a lot of fun. I do feel very, very fortunate to do that.
So the short answer is no, you don't have a real job.
Well,
So
I do
you're
have a real job. I
you're
do have-
self-employed though. You
yes.
don't work for someone else.
No, I'm definitely self-employed. I have been my whole life. Well, my whole adult life. I had my smaller jobs or whatever when I was going through school or whatever. But no, I started teaching pretty well right out of university, and I've continued on, and I really love it. I really do love it. I every day I wake up and I feel really really lucky. There aren't a lot of people. Well, I mean, there are people who get to do their passion, but it is it's a little bit rare to feel that. It's just so much fun. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and you don't have any children, do you?
I do not.
So
that's
this is
how
your
I
access to the
feel
younger.
How to leave my legacy is through what I do with my teaching and with my music and my singing, because that was a decision I made to not have any. So this is.
So it's not an option for you in the future?
I suppose it could be.
Okay.
That would be a total life changer.
You think? Like, children not normally a life changer. No.
Yeah. But that's how I feel like I can, you know, leave a mark, I guess. I mean, it's my intention that every single time somebody walks through my door, I have a conscious decision that I intend, if you came to my house for a lesson, my intention is that you leave feeling lighter, better, happier, fulfilled, inspired, and leave with a stronger sense of who you are as a human, and certainly who you are as a musician. That's what I intend to give to you.
Well, that's a great place to start.
Yeah,
And
it's fun.
you have pure motives as far as making a difference goes.
100%.
And then
you know, I wanna make sure that I want everybody who comes to my place to feel. And when I say my place, I teach from home. So from the cottage, I have this cute little cottage out in Jordan that I've been living in for 10 years now. Actually, I've got my 10th anniversary April the 1st. And I never, as a side note, I didn't expect that I would stay there for so long. But here you go. A decade later, I'm still there. It's a really cute little place. And
in the country, on the water?
it is in Jordan Station. So it's close to the water. It's a bike ride away. But it's quiet and peaceful, and I really like that. And I think it's part of like the whole experience of coming for music lessons, because you know, you drive into Jordan, you see the vineyards and the trees and the fruit trees, and it's really nice. And I lost a train of my thought. What was I going to tell you?
Teaching the kids.
Yeah.
Legacy.
Right. So
Look at me. I'm remembering the conversation.
oh gosh. Anyhow, I actually don't remember what I was going to say to you.
It must be time to play a song then.
Yeah, it is time to play a song. And talking about people who make a difference in your life, there was one very special person in my life in high school. Her name was Mrs. Epp, Mrs. Marg Epp, and she's since passed away. God rest her soul. She was my math teacher, okay? I'm horrible in math, like really, really horrible.
So she wasn't that great a teacher after all.
She was a great teacher. I never learned the basics when I was in like grade 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. I just really struggled in math. So by the time I got to grade 10, general math, it was no easy task. And I actually got 49%. And she said, Melissa, I give you 51. You never have to do this ever again. Go and sing. You're off the hook. Like, thank you.
That was the opposite of what my grade 9 teacher said. He says, you got a 51, but I don't like you much, so I'm going to give you a 49. What do you think about that?
For real?
He said that back then, you remember when they had advanced courses?
Yes, I do.
I was in the advanced field because I thought I was going to go to college and be a policeman. So my parents thought, well, you're going to take advanced courses, and Bassaraba, I don't care if you're alive or dead. I'm sure you're a good man, but he was my grade 9 teacher, and he said, I'll give you a 50 or a 51 in general, but if you want the advanced credit, it's going to be a 49. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the 49. And then the next year, my parents said, well, you dumped the credit, so you're going to Catholic school. When we moved to Welland, I went to Notre Dame for a year for grade 10. That was my punishment. Don't tell my parents.
Funny.
I'm talking about them online.
Mrs. Epp, I went to Eden for high school back when it was still out in Niagara Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was a Christian school too, right?
It was, yeah, very much. And so we would do, I think it was once a month or something, we would go and do these things called service visits, where we would go and sing for the old people.
Oh.
I still do it to this day. I love it. It's one of the greatest joys of my life. I was at an old folks home yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Well, they're kind of like kids in some ways, you know?
They just want to sit there and enjoy the music and get taken back to the old days.
But they're so sweet, too. Like
beautiful.
kids, but in a different way.
It's very
yeah.
honest. If you want an honest audience, you got to go to seniors home because they'll tell you how they feel.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
We did yesterday, too. Gotta love that. Anyhow, so we would go and do these service visits, and So back in the old days, so Mrs. Zapp would drive us. You know, there's a couple people who drove the kids to the old folks' home, and then they would drop us off at our houses afterwards. And I always went in her car, and she would always plan it to drop me off last, so that we would have our special talk time, right? And I would tell her everything that was going on, and da 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 da. And I really looked forward to that. It was actually a pretty significant relationship in my life when I stopped to think about it now. And she said to me one day, I was probably 14 or 15, and she said, you know, Melissa, you're really good. You could be a singer when you grow up if you wanted to be. And I'd never really thought about it before. And I said, oh. She said, just record a song for me one day. That's all I want. And so I've never forgotten that. It was a huge inspiration for me. And I was to come to realize that, okay, so let's say 2004, I had recorded a Christmas album. And Mrs. Epp had one of these albums. And I was to later come to understand that even on her deathbed, she would say, please put Melissa on. I want to hear Melissa sing. And I was also invited to go and sing at her service. And I was
Did you do it?
Total wreck. Yes, I did.
Good for you.
I did. That was a hugely meaningful relationship to me. And oh, wow. Okay, first of all, her son, Jeff, gave the most beautiful eulogy you could possibly imagine. And then I sang after the eulogy.
So you're already broken up.
Total mess. I sobbed my way through. It was Amazing Grace. I actually couldn't sing. I was not physically capable of singing. I got up and I sang. My heart was pounding like a million times a minute. And
you don't just turn it off and go, okay, this is business.
Typically, but she meant so much to me.
Right.
Typically, yeah. I'm barely in the room when I do that sort of thing.
Right.
Otherwise, I will.
Because I remember doing my mother's eulogy, and I don't remember anything that I said, but I was stone cold all the way through it. And when I got off stage, I melted down. But
right. Well, in this case,
it's just like somebody said to me, "Don't do it because you'll be an emotional basket case up there." And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it anyway." Like my family tried to talk me out, or I don't know who it was, one of my uncles, I think.
Mm-hmm. You were pretty close to your mom?
Oh, yeah, really tight. And then, they were trying to talk me out of doing it, I think because they didn't think I could get through it. But I was stone cold through it. Well, no, I don't know. It was like, who else? I don't trust anyone else.
That's an important moment.
You know, and I don't know why. It's not something we talked about or anything, but I think it was just I felt called. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I remember thinking, wow, if I can do this, I can do anything. Mm-hmm. Because I just completely turned it off. I actually had some fun with it, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I probably got a couple laughs. Right. But I can't imagine, and I know like the music is so moving too, and then if you have to sit through a moving speech, and I can't imagine, you know, being moved to tears and then try to shut it down. Like once you're going, you're done.
It
yeah.
was really happening, and I got up on the stage, and there was a gentleman playing for me, accompanying me, and I started the first line, and I sang "Amazing Grace," and I just like
cracked.
That's all I got, 3 notes, and then I just had to stand there, and I delivered the song like a poem because it was the only thing I could do.
Spoken word?
I spoke the rest of and he played, and
it must have been
one
beautiful.
of the most beautiful experiences of my life.
Was it filmed?
No, no.
All the greatest events are never captured on film.
And then,
right?
you know, I guess
you don't normally film a freaking funeral.
No.
But I wish I had mine, man.
You like your mom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was, you know, you talk about being critical to yourself, right? I was so embarrassed that I had totally melted down.
Oh, you thought you can't.
Yeah, because I wanted to honor her by singing, and I couldn't even do it, right? Because I was so emotional.
to then later on, someone came up to me and said, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. And I said, well, it was real. That's
Well,
for
yeah,
sure.
but that's maybe what
Tell
they
you that
appreciate
much.
about it. You know, you go
I
up there,
meant those words very
you're
much.
rehearsed.
Yeah,
You go out there, you belt it out.
yeah,
You hit a 9.5.
yeah,
Everyone's impressed,
yeah.
except the person that's impressed by you breaking it
Mm-hmm.
and ad-libbing it and just coming from the soul.
I'm telling you, that was one of those kind of moments. I feel like I'm going to sing you another song now. On that note, okay.
This is not how I wanted this interview to go, with you controlling the breaks. Another song already. Typical musician, always on a freaking break.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so I wrote this song about my grandmother, who is just about to turn 92 years old. She's the coolest lady in town. She's amazing. She lives on her own still. Her
What?
name's Cecile, and she's just the best. She is, honest to God, one of the most incredible women you'll ever meet.
Where's she live?
She's in Welland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My
she's in
grandmother was
Welland.
Cecilia. She was 93
Really?
when she died, and she died 93, and she was nuts. When she died, she was a little out there, but oh man, we would just sit around and say, "Graham, say something else." She'd get a couple rye and waters into
Oh,
her, and
really?
she'd be
She's funny?
fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's
Just
nice.
all the old things and old, funny and culturally inappropriate, let's say, at times. Like she would come out with some of the beautiest things, but yeah, it's the elder, old people. I think elderly kind of
she's
makes
so
them sound
funny.
like
She says she calls like, I don't know, 75 or 80 years old, those old people. She said she doesn't want to go to an old folks home. She's like, I'm not going over there. They're all just sitting there waiting to die. I'm not like that. She's vital. This woman is vital.
in her own house and everything.
Oh yeah, she's independent. That's for sure. And
Driving.
no, she gave up driving 12 years ago. Back when she was 80. And yeah, she did. She said, no, that's enough. I'm done. You guys can take me where I need to go. And she lives across the street from the grocery store and the bank, and it's all good. And, you know, we try to take care of her. And
She walk over.
she does, but you know, it's getting a little bit different now
Right.
nowadays. But her brothers, do you get this? This is so cool. I love this about them. So she comes from a huge French Catholic family, and
Live on Fitz Street.
close to that, something like that, right? And so they all go. Well, when they were all alive, they would go there to my grandma's house every day for coffee, and still her brothers show up for coffee every day, every weekday. So they have a coffee, they laugh, they talk stories about the olden days. Exactly.
That's my French.
Exactly.
My French.
Oh, it's
Impersonation.
hilarious. I love going there for coffee. Oh, it's just a riot. Anyhow, so my grandma, as a lot of grandmas are just. I wrote this song for her. It's called "Guiding Angel," because she's always there. Always, she is like a guiding force in my life, and I love her so much. And she was there for me at a time in my life when I was really feeling down. I had been in a relationship with somebody that I was actually engaged to. This was 10 years ago, before I moved into the cottage. And before I moved into the cottage, I was actually living at my grandmother's house to recover from this horrible breakup that I had had. And she just let me stay there. No questions asked. No judgment. She said, you got the upstairs. You just stay here until it's time. And then one day we had a conversation and she said, it's time.
She told you it was time.
She
let you.
It was time. It just felt like time. Otherwise, I probably would have just wallowed in my self-pity and withered up there.
She just
you know?
drew your attention to
She
the fact
did.
that it was
Yes,
time.
because that's what the loving thing to do is, right?
Instead of tell you.
So she was just there for me, and she gave me this little, what do you call those things? Snow globe? You know a snow globe?
Mm.
It was just this little snow globe with an angel in it. I'm like, oh man.
So
this is
French.
nice. So anyway,
We'll edit that part.
It's on my shelf, and I just really love this. I love my grandmother so much. So anyhow, this is a song I wrote for her. She's my guardian angel. So
You're gonna be able to get through it without crying?
I will. Probably. Okay, let's.
I could give a rousing, moving speech to lead you into the tears. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
please don't. All right, I need a drink of water. Oh, hang on a second. I didn't write the date down. I have no idea when I wrote this, but it was around 10 years ago. And I just wanted to, may I add, it's really nice to share original songs because I haven't done this like in about 10 years. Did you know that?
I did not.
So had we met one another 10 years ago, and
You wouldn't be down with the performance at all then,
no,
or you would have been singing covers.
no. If we'd met 10 years ago, and you would have said, "Hey, who are you? What do you do?" I would have said, "I'm Melissa. I'm a singer-songwriter," because that's how I was writing songs and I was singing the songs I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And then my life took a musical change, like a rather dramatic shift. And I started doing more of the classical thing, and the singer-songwriter part of my life just kind of was put on hold for many, many years. And it's recently resurfaced, and I'm really glad it did. So it's nice to share these songs because they haven't really seen a whole lot of light of day.
You also hit the jazz.
Oh, very much. Yeah, that's how I started doing jazz when I was about 18, 19, something like that. And so that's kind of always, I don't know, I've had this like potpourri of musical experiences, shall we say. 'Cause there's
You're not
always-
very French. It's potpourri.
Oh,
Potpourri.
well, thank you very much.
What's your grandmother's name? Telling on you.
Oh, that's funny. So anyhow, it's good to be able to do these songs, and I hope that someone out there in YouTube land is enjoying them,
Yeah,
because I'm enjoying
I
singing them.
appreciate it.
How does this one go is the question. It goes like this. Heavenly choirs sing, and a holy hush falls on the center of my turbulent day. It was just what I needed
I feel like I should be clapping, but then there's one
I will accept your clap.
two-hand clapping. Sounds funny on the Jim Fannon Show.
That's good. So that's my song about my grandmother. So I was mentioning to you that I had been in this tumultuous relationship that ended, right? And you know how there's well, gee, maybe I'm the only one, but maybe I'm not. The situations in our life where the people around you see the decision you should make before you can see it. You know?
Oh, I know it well.
So I found myself in that position. And everybody around me could see that I had to end it. But I didn't quite have the strength yet. I knew it, but I didn't have the strength to do it yet, right? But I felt all this pressure. I'm like, would you get off my back? Like, just give me some time here.
When it's time,
people.
it's time.
Exactly. And I need to make that decision for myself because I've come to the decision in my heart and I've made up my mind. Until that happens, you can talk until you're blue in the face. I need to make that decision for myself. And it will happen. Just give me some space. So I wrote a song about it.
Of course. And sang it to him for the breakup.
No, oh, yeah, right. Oh, jeez. Set to music.
Honey,
Jeez.
this is what I want to say to you, and after this, we can never speak again. Can you guess what it's about?
Man, I actually, okay.
I never
Is
thought I'd
this-
write this song.
Is this
Breakup
depressing?
song.
Jeez, I hope not. When I was in that relationship, that's when I stopped writing music.
Ooh.
Yeah, my whole light went out in regards to songwriting, and that's when I was like, okay, we've got a problem here, people. This is a big problem because that is the essence of who I am. I am a musician and I am a songwriter.
Right.
And if I can't, I think about it now. I would sit in this room where my keyboard was and write songs about not being able to write songs. Trying to find that, like, because I used to be like, I don't know, it was like I couldn't feel the inspiration.
Just smoke weed.
Well, I don't think that. So
Maybe that's part of the
I couldn't find
writer's block.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well, I couldn't find the inspiration. Anyhow,
You
so
are.
I wrote this song about needing a little bit more time. I gotta think of how it goes. Okay, so
In the same context?
huh?
In the same
In this idea of like,
Oh,
just-
okay, yeah,
just
because
give me
okay.
space. I'll get there. Just give me space. I'll come to my decision. Just like back off.
Have you got any of these on albums?
Good question. This is
That's what they pay me the big bucks for.
This is my next project, actually. I'm going to record my own music, and I'm really excited about it.
Where are you gonna record?
Where?
With who?
Oh, with my friend and producer Scott Spock. He's from London, and he was the mixing engineer for the last CD I did, which is
So you're going out of town?
yes.
Okay.
So this is going to be a project that, you know, over the next 12 to 18 months, I hope.
London, Ontario?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The exciting town of London, Ontario. And, yeah, so we're going to be working together on some of these original songs, which have, as I've told you, been kind of percolating for quite a while. And it's time.
How many songs do you think you'll have on it?
Definitely 6 of my own and maybe 5 to 6 cover songs, more in the inspirational vein, because that's the music I love singing.
You're doing Broadway songs at your next
I
gig.
am doing Broadway
May
songs.
6th.
It is May the 6th. I'm
Mate?
so excited. It's at St. Thomas Anglican Church.
Oh, even
actually.
better. What a great sounding
Oh,
venue,
man,
eh?
That space is just meant
Who's
for music.
backing you up there?
The musicians that also play on my album A Christmas Love Song. So the pianist, his name is Stu Harrison, and he is amazing. Great pianist from Toronto. One of the top jazz pianists in Canada, if you ask me. He's so gifted, and he knows how to play for a singer. He can just pull out magic from a singer's voice. It's really amazing experience to work with him. And Clark Johnston is on the bass, and he's my favorite bass player in the whole wide world. Really cool guy who is a fantastic musician and an all-around great person. So those two guys are going to join me. And I'm
St. Thomas, you said? Where's
St.
that?
Thomas Anglican on Ontario Street in St. Catharines, Montebello
Right,
Park.
right at the top of Lake in Ontario?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Oh,
got
yeah.
the kind of the round
Yeah.
theater. Oh man, it's
I've never been in
gorgeous.
there. I've always wanted to check it
Really?
out. Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You just have to go, "Oh," and your voice goes, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." It echoes all over the place. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so we're going to,
It was May 6th. What, is that a weekend?
it's a Sunday afternoon, actually.
Yeah, it looks like
so
it's 3 o'clock.
at 3 o'clock, absolutely. So,
I'm trying to calculate military time, and it's so
Oh, I
difficult when
know.
it says
Why did they
1500.
do
You
that?
have to
And
add like 3 hours to get it.
talking to a person who's not good in math, like this is
Military
a real
time
problem.
sucks.
Like,
Stop
oh,
it. Just tell me the sun comes up at 7:36, not 19:36 or whatever the hell it is.
So, yes, it's going to be at St. Thomas, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I have been doing a concert series, running a concert series for, well, this is my 8th season for the Christmas show. And I believe this will be the 6th year for the spring show. And so the Broadway show is part of that. I'm kind of...
That's the spring show?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm changing gears though because I won't go into the details, but I want to stop calling it the spring show. I just want it to be a concert. So it's happening May the 6th, 3 o'clock. I hope you can come. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. And
How much?
$20
Okay.
for some fine entertainment. And I'm going to do at least one original at that concert. And I'm looking forward to that.
When do you think you're going to break the album out? When are you going to start on that? Or do you have anything canned yet?
Pardon me?
Do you anything canned as far as songs go?
Just demos. So
Okay.
we're just scratching out demos and, just starting. We're just starting now. Thinking about material, thinking about rep, instrumentation, all that stuff. Like we're in the it's incubating. Is that the word?
Hmm?
So we're currently scratching out the plan. So it's like kind of like on a paper with pencil stage, and then over the course of the next 4 to 6 months, it'll become a more solid plan, and then over the course of the next 12 months, it'll become an actual physical product. Yay!
With 12 songs.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens. Things can change, but definitely 6 of my own, and I'm excited about it. It's time. So now it is time. I'm in my mind, so there you go. It's happening. Okay, so I'm gonna sing this the song I was talking to you about needing more time. Okay, so here it is. It goes like this. I feel like this is my song.
This is your song?
Yeah, it's my favorite song.
Oh, okay.
That my friend Juliana, she came over and she's like, "Sing me a song," and I sang her this song. She's like, "Melissa, that's your song. That's
Your song?
like, that's like your, I don't know." All right, you ready?
Yep.
You getting comfortable over there?
Nobody needs to see me.
All right. What do we do? Here we go. This is the road that I must take to find my freedom. The journey is mine to walk alone. I'm stuck at a crossroads, but I know that I will This is the road that I'm walking, and this is the path that I chose. These are the steps that I'm taking to find the doors I ought to close. This is the road that I'm walking, through all of the highs and the lows. Give me the space that I'm asking for. All I need is a little more time to see just what it is I'm searching for. A little more time to hear, recognize my voice. Little more time to grow and find the deeper meaning of it all. This is the road that I'm walking, and this is the path that I chose. These are the steps that I'm taking to find the doors I ought to close. This is the road that I'm walking, through all of the highs and the lows. Give me the space that I'm asking for. All I need is a little more time. Just a little more time. There you go.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Done. Everything's still good.
All right. So that's that one.
Wow, your voice is now. You just came from a singing gig, right?
I did. Yeah, we did.
Did you have to warm up?
I always warm up.
Otherwise, you pitch it here and there, or you crack it or here. Or
It's really good practice to warm up your voice. It's
Yeah.
like asking an athlete to just go and run a race without warming up his muscles or her muscles. Like that would not be wise. So my personal thing, I just start really gentle and tend to start in the lower part of my range and just kind of get my voice moving a little bit and get in touch with how it feels that day. Because
some days you might want to not push it.
well, every day for me, it depends on, did you sleep? What did you eat the day before? Are you stressed?
Now, how
It's
does
just very delicate and sensitive thing.
in 1993 when I did my one and only first political debate, I didn't know that when you were that nervous that your vocal cords stretched so tight that they didn't make any sound.
Oh, did that happen to you?
Yeah, never since, but never before either.
Okay.
I was so nervous. And I drew the short straw.
Oh, so you had to go
It was,
first?
it was a political debate on the radio, See How, Forks Road. And they swing the mic over to me and introduce me as Green Party candidate Jim Fannon and
Right.
go. You got 2 minutes, right?
Really? You couldn't say anything?
I even coughed and nothing came out. You know, when you cough,
Yes.
your vocal cords are
Yes,
involved in it. I didn't
absolutely.
really know that, but
Yeah.
like if you get a really bad cough, you will cough yourself hoarse so that your voice is gone.
Very much so.
I didn't realize it.
Okay.
And so I tried to cough and it just puffs of air came out, which freaked me out even more.
I can only imagine.
And I never forgot that day, and I swore that would never happen again
So
to me.
you warm up your voice now, or?
No, I went to Toastmasters, learned how to speak.
You.
I
went to
did
Toastmasters
11
too.
speeches, and I learned how to breathe, and I learned how to control my fear, and
Yeah.
next thing you know, I was doing radio shows, and
Good for you.
and still, I can public speak
Mm-hmm.
without much trouble. I really enjoy it. I can debate. I can MC. I can introduce people. I think the nerves kind of get me on the outside. You don't see them when I'm up there.
Mm-hmm.
But, I know they're there, but I don't feel that that nervous energy
Right,
anymore. You know,
yes, I know
I've
what
gotten
you mean.
used to it, and I really love it now.
You enjoy that, like
Oh,
you know
yeah,
that
I
you're
mean,
ready to go and
If
you
any
feel
if
the-
any band ever asks me to MC an event, or somebody says, "Will you MC my wedding?" or you know, God forgive. Oh yeah, I did my buddy's. I MC'd my buddy's funeral.
Oh.
You know, I wish I had better discretion sometimes, but
Mhm.
you know, I'm just me. It just comes out. But yeah, there's a real high that comes off it. Like when I came out of that studio, I've never been higher in my life, and I didn't have anything in my system. I had just conquered my greatest fear, and I soaked the chair. I was literally.
From that debate that you
I was
did?
living with Doug Mundy at the time. It was 1993. Well, I guess I can squeal on him now. It was so important to him. He stayed home from school, like he was a teacher, stayed home that day to listen to
support
me
you?
on the radio.
That's really nice.
I wish I had that tape
yeah.
of my voice going silent.
Wow.
And that was, I didn't know any, I was so green about
That's amazing.
politics.
You
I went the
know-
night before, stayed up all night with my buddy. He talked into like the Sony Walkman with the regular size cassette.
yeah.
And he was like beating and just getting passionate and screaming into this box about proportional representation and recall and referenda. And he was going nuts. And I listened to it in my Delta 88 Brougham propane powered car on the way home. I got home really late, had very few hours sleep, listened to it all the next day, and then went and tried to deliver. And yeah, so I'm always interested. You know, I've had a few guys come on the show, not this show, but the old show. And I'm like, ooh, pitchy.
Oh, the singers?
Someone didn't warm up.
Well, you gotta warm up your voice.
Yeah.
It's really important. I mean, if you want to excel at what you do, it's a good idea to
Yeah, and then you said,
warm it up.
what did I eat? How long have I
Yeah,
slept? You know, like
absolutely.
I
mean,
just,
those things affect me, and I was somebody who suffered from debilitating stage fright for a long time, until a friend of mine said, well, you're kind of approaching this all wrong. I was like, what do you mean? How do I fix this problem? And it was my friend Mika. Mika Barnes. Thank you, Mika, if you're watching. He gave me a physical routine to do. So every time
Breathing?
Yeah, it's breathing and, you know, relaxing your body and setting your intention for what you wish to do for that performance. And if I don't do that, I feel it because I don't feel mentally prepared and I
Right.
don't feel physically prepared.
and then your confidence goes out the window.
Well, and the breathing gets all wacky. And, you know, I came to understand. So do you want to know how I teach people to overcome
Yeah.
their stage fright? It's fun. We got to play a game, though. You want
Oh.
to play a game with me? Okay, so it's just rock, paper, scissors.
What
You
did
can
I
do
say?
it. You can do it.
I don't know how to
So-
play that game.
You do.
Rock, paper, scissors?
You know that game, don't you?
Oh,
Rock, paper, scissors?
I'm not very good at it.
Because you don't have to be very good at it. It's all right. You'll get through it. Okay, so, you know, it's 1, 2, 3, and then rock, paper, scissors?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then give me your thing, okay?
And it's rock, paper,
Paper and
scissors.
scissors, okay?
So if I do the same thing over and over, you won't be bad.
Of course not. No.
I don't like where this is going. I don't play games.
This
Okay.
is a...
This is how you chill before you play.
What?
This is part of the chill process before you play?
Me? No, this is how we teach somebody to get over their stage fright.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, or maybe, okay, so ready?
Yeah.
So, go, okay, so 1,
One,
2,
two.
3.
Oh,
Okay, you got so 1, 2, 3, and then do your thing.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
So
Oh,
I beat you.
you have to touch me? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Just say you win. You don't have to reach over. You're going to blow the mics up. Okay. So
right,
you
ready?
won that one. How many times you going to win?
We'll just do 3.
Best
3 wins.
best out of 3?
Sure.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Rock.
So you beat me.
Okay. You got to
Right?
touch.
Okay. Well, yeah, you do. That's the way it goes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. We tied. All right. So this is the thing. So do you want to know what beats nerves? So rock. Okay. So what beats rock?
Paper
Paper
covers
beats
rock.
rock.
Yeah.
What beats paper?
Scissors.
What beats scissors?
Rock.
What beats nerves?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Apparently not.
I'm more nervous than ever now. I just
Oxygen.
oxycodone.
Oxygen, you know? Oxygen beats nerves. So oxygen beats nerves. So if you're not preparing your mind and relaxing and slowing down your heart rate, then your nerves can get out of whack. So if you're feeling nervous, then you want to slow down your heart rate by breathing deeply. I like to inhale through my nose,
Out through your mouth.
out through my mouth.
The yoga
and-
breath.
Yes, and I tell my heart to chill out. It is not going to die. This is just a moment that will pass. This is actually enjoyable, and you know you're about to go and exactly.
But
So, what?
what's that got to do with rock, paper, scissors?
It's just a tool to show people that it's easy to beat nerves because
Oh, it's a demonstration.
it's a demonstration.
What beats what? What,
What
beats
beats
what? And
What beats nerves? Oxygen beats nerves.
can't you just forego the rock, paper,
Well, it's
scissors and
easier
say
to-
oxygen's good for nerves? Try
It's
deep
not
breathing.
as
deeply.
powerful a message. believe
You're
it
the
or
teacher.
not. It's the way it works. It
Okay.
works. I've seen it work a million times.
Don't listen to me. You're the teacher. Don't let me put doubts into your mind.
I have no
I,
doubts
I
about
feel
that.
like you're going to play another. I don't know why. I feel like you're going to break into song
I'm
again.
getting there. I'm working my way towards
Do you have a
it.
time?
Do I have
Do you have to
time?
be out?
Oh, check it out. Soonish. Maybe I'll do this song.
Well, you just let me know when, and we'll just
Alright.
cut the tape when you say it's over.
All right. So, the thing with the nerves is because
I'm not nervous.
I know you're not nervous. With the kids, let's say if I'm teaching, right? And they're like, but I'm so nervous. I'm like, well, we got to talk about that because this is an important element of performing. You want to be calm when you go on the stage. So you've got to prepare your mind. And if people are associating a beating heart, let's say, with, oh my God, I'm just about to die because my heart, you know, it feels, if you're associating with that feeling of your heart beating or a little adrenaline running through your body, that can be scary unless you know that that's actually a helpful thing. To have a little adrenaline, that keeps you on your game, right? So if we can just switch the mind about what that means and how to slow it down and control it a little bit
Channel it.
and channel it, that's an extremely helpful tool, right? So that's kind of the point of that. Rock, paper, and scissors is to teach a kid how to control their nerves. So they can associate, oh, the game, oh yeah, right. Oxygen beats adrenaline every time.
Right.
It's
It
just
sure beats.
adrenaline.
It sure beats. You know, trying to teach your kids to just picture your audience naked.
Well, there you go. There is
That's
that
the worst
tool.
one.
It's like, now it's really awkward. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
for that
teacher. And
advice.
just let me know who I should report to.
Yeah.
What's this one called?
This is called Break of Light.
And inspiration?
Starting to
Or do we have to know? Is there a certain? Don't you want to have a little mystique behind some of the songs, or are you like, no, it's about this and this?
I have no need to tell people what it's about, but they seem to like to know.
Yeah, maybe after.
Okay, I'll tell you after.
Yeah, just so it doesn't color our expectations.
All
or
right.
create a listening in us. Listen to me. Create a listening.
This was written. What's the date today, Jim? March the 30th.
Yeah, it is something like that.
This was written a year ago, almost to the day. Because I wrote it down. All right. Just another simple melody written on a lonely Friday night, waiting for the muse to come around before I see the break
cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. Wow. Well, are all these songs going to be on the new album?
This one is definitely going to be on it.
Why not the others? You played all originals today, right?
Yes, they
Cool.
were all originals.
And why not an album all of originals?
Oh, that's a really good question.
You've got enough songs.
Yeah.
Throw a cover in at the end for the last song just for fun, just to jam, but like...
I will give it thought.
Yeah, well, MJ Blake just did a new EP.
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of threw it together, not from the standpoint that it's low quality. It's certainly a great quality disc, but there's only 6 songs on it.
Mhm.
A couple are...
Do you wish there were more?
Yeah, at the end of the song, the disc goes by so
Yeah.
fast. And in my deck, I've got a number of discs in it. You know, by the time I get to, like, going back to the start of the
Yes.
disc, it's already on to disc 4. And I'm into Theater Crisp, and then I'm more
Yeah.
prone to just leave it there rather than change the disc
Yeah.
again. So, yeah, I like, and I told him, oh man, and you jammed with him the other night. Thank you so much for that. I mean, that was so cool. And why does no one know what next Sunday means? Next Sunday we're doing it, not Sunday. This Sunday is Easter. Next Sunday, and it was so cool because I felt like it was a little stiff. From the standpoint that everyone's kind of doing their thing and feeling each other out
right.
and kind of, warming their chops up or whatever. And then you go to leave, and somehow MJ breaks into this riff that inspires you
Yeah, that was fun.
to sing. And then I'm moving the mics and getting one in front of you. And then I'm like, well, great. Can we start this way next time? Like that was so cool. It was magic. And that's what I love about the jams. And we don't know each other that well. And I appreciate, your openness to my weird way of being sometimes. And I'm like full on, just like, that turns people off sometimes. They're like, whoa, dude, like sugarcoat it. We don't even know each other. And already, but so I really appreciate your openness to that. And then you call me after and you're like, hey, we made some good music there, and
Good time.
so I'm looking forward to doing it again next Sunday, and MJ will be on tour, and but this jam. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this. It's like, I love it when the jam gets to like locomotive train status. Like you cannot, you can't break. There's nothing you could do. Even if the drummer stops playing, the jam will just keep going. You can. It's like a locomotive, just like screaming down the tracks. And then I found it really amazing when I sat in here and there. I play bongos. Once in a while, I'll sit in on drums. I don't know anything, what I'm doing. Sometimes I even, will hit a few keys here and there. But in a jam, you don't notice the guy just going dink, dink, dink on the keys because I can turn the volume down.
Yeah.
But I was fascinated about, it's like dominoes. Like
Well, you
one
feed
guy,
off one another, right?
well, yeah, one guy does one thing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm watching Aaron Berger, who doesn't normally play the drums, with a build, and he's going louder and faster and louder, and you're like, okay, is it? And there's this pause. Is it a drop, or does he back out of it? No, he backs out of it, and then and I'm thinking, well, does me beating this little bongo here actually, is that going to have an effect on the drum? I
sure it
love it.
does.
It's so cool.
I love playing.
Where there's no agenda,
No,
there's
you're
no
just doing music
plan.
for the sake
And
of
even
doing
better
music.
if you don't even know the people
That's
around.
really amazing because it's purely about creating something
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, just like that. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
great.
you're open to it.
You want to hear one more song?
I have a feeling you're going to lead us into another
I'm
song.
gonna
I don't know
sing
why.
one more song,
This is
but I
the
might call it a day.
Melissa Schreiner Show. Co-hosted by Jim Fannon. Live. Tomorrow.
What am I singing here?
Live to tape.
This is a song called "You Are a Friend." I feel like it's a good one to finish with.
Okay. Awesome.
goes like this. I've lowered the key. Well, I've been through tough times, and I've had days I'd rather forget, and I've had questions with answers I know that I'll never find. And oh man, you know what? I got a text
You blew the
message
song?
while I was singing that. 'cause
And
my
it
phone
blew
is
your
right there. I
concentration?
totally lost my train of thought. I gotta start that one
that's
again.
weak.
I know.
This is why we love it. It's live radio. How can a text message throw you off? Turn that phone over.
I just turned it around. Let's try that one.
Okay, okay, we'll just pretend we're starting all over. Is your check your mic? Are you two lights from the left?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we're on the right mic
All
setting.
right.
Melissa Marie Schreiner.
You've had two Shriners in here, and
Yeah, you're
less than-
you're my second Schreiner in a row.
Can you believe it? Can I tell you something?
Mike Schreiner,
I
different
probably-
spelling.
I know he's got the German spelling.
And
Mine's
I,
been anglicized.
I found myself. I don't know why, but I like during the jam I was referring to you as Schreiner. I don't know.
Don't call me Schreiner. Don't call me now. Like, call me Schreiner.
Oh,
Oh man.
because you know
Just
that's
like
gonna
that.
happen now.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Okay, let's do the song.
Oh, you turned your phone over. Great.
Yes, I did.
I'm on airplane mode. That's
I'm-
how important you are to me.
Oh, thanks. I feel that. Okay. I've been through tough times, and I've had days I'd rather forget, and I've had questions with answers I know that I'll never find. But through it all, yeah, through it all, I know you are a friend that I can depend on. You're always there whenever I need you. You hold your hand out for me whenever my eyes just cannot see. You are a friend that I can depend on. You're always there whenever I need you. You're always strong, no matter the song, no matter what happens along the way. Sometimes life deals a tough hand with only the jokers in the play, an unruly dealer, just concerned with his winnings and his pay. And though I may lose some, I know that it's not the end of the game. 'Cause through it all, yeah, through it all, I know you are a friend that I can depend on. You're always there whenever I need you. You hold your hand out for me whenever my eyes just cannot see. You are a friend that I can depend on. You're always there whenever I need you. You're always strong, no matter the song, no matter what happens along the way. You are a friend. You are a friend. You are a friend. There you go. Thank you. Very
Melissa Marie Schreiner.
Yeah.
Wow, I appreciate that. So cool.
Thank you.
And May 6th.
May 6th.
Sunday, May 6th, 3 o'clock, St. Thomas on Ontario Street, Songs of Broadway.
Yes. I will be singing them.
St. Thomas's Anglican Church, 99 Ontario Street. And I am going, by the way, Facebook says.
Well, then it's going to happen. Thanks for having
Certainly,
me here, Jim.
yeah.
Jimmy,
You're
Jim
welcome.
Fannon.
Don't call me Melissa Schreiner,
right.
but we don't have to. Marie,
Melissa Marie.
are you?
Do you want to know why?
Well,
gonna
that's
tell
not
you
so important.
why.
I want to make sure that I'm okay, not because I've never referred to you as the hyphenated Melissa Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
somehow
special.
I don't feel like, because I think I referred to you as Melissa only before, and if I had been out of line, you would have corrected me.
Yeah, Melissa's good. Melissa's great. That's my name. Yep. So.
Tell me about it. Jeez. You didn't forget where you were going again, did you?
No.
Okay,
No,
okay,
no.
good.
I know exactly where this one's going. So, this interesting linguistic thing that happens when you have a s and a sh right beside each other, they tend to get a little mooshed up into a sh, right? So, if you knew the amount of times I've been introduced as Militia Schreiner, I would be it would make your head spin. Militia Schreiner. Or Michelle. That is the other
Michelle.
common one I get introduced as. So, I thought to myself, I would really love to be introduced by my proper name. It would be really nice. It's something about like people are thinking about the sound that's coming, right? So then in my first name, Melissa, gets turned into a sh, and then I get called Militia. So I thought, I'm going to add, my first name is actually Marie, my very first name. So I said, well, I'm gonna hyphenate my name, call myself Melissa Marie Schreiner to eliminate this problem. And so now I've got to basically teach people to call me Melissa Marie Schreiner, which has been an endeavor all in itself.
Wow,
So,
that's so
there
much
you go.
effort.
Isn't that interesting? Welcome
It's
to my world.
certainly interesting, but that's
Yes.
a lot of work just to get the name thing down.
It's weird.
Mm.
Well, you've got a sort of standard thing going on there with the Jim Fannon.
Don't
It's
you
pretty
ever
easy to say.
insult me
you
that
know?
way. James Melville it will be from now on.
James
Thank you.
Melville,
James
Melville.
Melville Fannon the third. Actually, no, I'm not. My
Esquire?
dad is Joseph James, but goes by Jim.
Oh, really? Why is Jim the
And
nickname for James? I've never understood that.
I'll get back to you on
I
that one.
heard the crickets chirping.
Crickets. I wish I had that sound effect. Melissa, thank you very much. And, well, thanks for Ricochet Water for keeping us hydrated. Love Ricochet.
It was really good water. I drank.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
my favorite. It's not
incognito,
RO.
it is
It's
Ricochet
so
water.
awesome. Yeah. So just I'm gonna just hit a few of our upcoming podcast. April 5th, we have the full band Road Waves. I'm gonna move this desk and get everything out, take down those walls, and I'm gonna put the 5-piece group kind of in the
That sounds
corner
amazing.
around. Yeah, I can't wait because they are so tight right now. They got an album release coming up. This will be just before that at the warehouse.
Oh, cool. That's a really nice space there.
Yeah,
They've got a good
great
thing going on down
sound,
there.
great sound for sure. And so while we're here, May 11th is the date for Road Waves at
What day of the week is that? May 11th?
Friday.
Friday, May 11th. What time?
Yeah, Danny Lamb's at the warehouse
Tonight, isn't it?
tonight. Yeah,
Is it the 30th?
yes, he is tonight.
Oh,
I'm
he's
gonna
a
have
really
to.
cool guy.
I love Danny Lamb. Great
salty
musician.
here. He is really talented.
Sammy Morielli and Mel Monaco, April 26th.
Mm-hmm.
Warehouse as well.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel Dog and Road Waves, that's in Hamilton, I think. Hike for Hospice is coming up
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, May 6th. You are May 6th as well at 3 o'clock. That's 10:30, the Hike for Hospice in the morning. Then May 11th, the Warehouse, album release party for Road Waves. My Son the Hurricane's. Oh my.
There's a lot of good music.
My Son the
happening
Hurricane's
at the
got
same
2
time.
shows, June 8th and 9th at the Warehouse. The second night, Road Waves is opening. Red carpet gala for the movie Fight. I've got a bit part in it. It's going to
You
be
do?
awesome. I fire
Is this?
Erica Sherwood's character Alex.
Do you really?
I have a huge crush on Erica Sherwood. And Jason asked me to act a part in the movie. I'm like, are you crazy? He says, dude, it's like,
You can do it.
like I said, how many guys did you call? He goes, you.
That's your
Like, because I know you probably got the clothes. I need you to
Mm-hmm.
play a hotel manager. I'm like, I don't have the clothes for that. I have to. Ego. No, so 22nd of June, Wellington Court's going to feed us at Market Square. Then we're going to take a limo over to the Pack Film House to watch a screening of the movie.
Cool.
And I have a bit part in it. And
Good
I
for
hope
you.
it didn't make the cutting room floor. But
Oh,
I'm
what
excited
is
because I got to do the backing track on Theater Chris tune last year on Head Heavy. They stretched out my vocal sample. I do the Head Heavy.
that? Oh,
That's
cool.
me on the back of the song.
That's
So I have an album and a movie
I ain't gonna
coming
get
out
there.
inside of 12 months.
That's pretty awesome.
And then September 11th, My Son the Hurricane is up at Lee's Palace. September 20th, 2 days before my birthday.
You're on the 22nd?
Yes.
I'm on the 18th.
And then, okay, so Road Waves is playing here April 5th. Check it out. It'll be 7 o'clock. Sarah Gretzinger is on April 6th, the day after. She's coming in at 2 o'clock. We're going to talk about her books and networking and business. And then regional counselor and chair of the NPCA, David Barrick, lightning rod, political lightning rod, is coming in 1 o'clock April 9th. So we've got a busy week that week. Wow. Pastor Bill Markham of Central Community Church. Love this guy. He's preaching today with shingles. I'm going to go see him in an hour. We're going to do All God Radio. Love Bill Markham. Trust me, he's a godly man, but you should see him preach if you haven't seen him preach. I know we talked about Central before. Former professional football player Sandy Annunziata, also chair. Barrick's not chair of the NPCA. I can't remember. Sandy Annunziata is chair of the NPCA and regional counselor for Fort Erie. He comes in April 12th at 1 o'clock. And then Mayor Jim Diodati from Niagara Falls is July 18th at 7 o'clock. I got him for 2 hours. Most of these guys for 2 hours, commercial free. We'll do live podcast and then upload it later. So that's what's coming up on the Jim Fannon Show. I really appreciate you coming in. And we will see you next Sunday for a jam.
I actually have something on the go that day.
Damn it.
Sorry. What is it? I can't.
Next time.
It's a musical thing. What am I doing? I'd have to look at my calendar.
Okay.
April the 8th, right?
I believe you.
Yeah, it's happening. I could look, but it's not coming to me, but I'm unavailable. However,
It's
I'm sure you're
no
gonna have a brilliant
problemo.
time.
Yeah, no, I really love my musician friends. It's good for the soul. And thank you for sharing your
You're
life
welcome.
and your stories and a little bit of your, what goes into your songwriting.
Well, I hope
And-
people enjoyed that. I hope you liked it. Was I okay? Was it okay?
You're fantastic. I was moved to tears at least 3 times.
All right.
And we did not run out of battery
That's
yet.
great.
So say goodbye, Melissa.
Bye.